Hey, how's it going, guys? Your boy Mr. Gabs here, and today is part 2 of my my first PC gaming build tutorial, or actually not much of a tutorial, but like series. Today I'm gonna show you how I put this tower together. Of course, this is the finished product. You can see some colors RGB lighting on the back. Now, without further ado, I'm gonna show you how I built this. So stick around and enjoy the video. So the very first thing you want to do, of course, is set your motherboard on your workbench, your working table, your workspace, however you want to call it. And then you're going to take your CPU, open it up, right? And be careful not to touch the threads on the back of your CPU to avoid any damage, bend, break, or anything important to the CPU. Now, you're gonna be asking, okay, what's the orientation of the CPU? Right here, I don't know if you can see, but there is a white triangle on your CPU bracket, and then you literally just align it with the triangle on your motherboard. Then you just drop it in. First of all, you'll lift up your retention arm right here. I don't know if you can see this, but this is literally just a retention arm. You'll lift it up. Then you align your triangle with triangle. Drop it, and then give it a little, move it to the side, make sure it's seated, and then just go down, and boom, that's it. Your CPU is now installed. So next up will be your SSD drive right here, your memory, your however you want to call it really. We open this up. There it is. We set this to the side for a second. So you're gonna need the screws that came with your motherboard in order to secure the SSD to the actual motherboard. These are the screws that came with my motherboard right there. That way you can see them, right? Then you're gonna need a small Phillips head screwdriver, just like this one, right? Let's open this up. Get the screws out. And the way you install this will be to actually, you see this notch right here, this goes to this slot right here. You just slide in the SSD from an angle, push it down a little bit, and then screw it to one of these screws, retentions right here, in order to secure it to the motherboard. So here we go. I'm gonna use the spacer right here. I'm gonna put it to one of these notches right there, which was the third one. There we go. Put this in. You can hand tighten it. You don't need like a super force. Then you come back in, like I said. Put it in an angle, don't go like straight like that. Put it in an angle, jiggle it in a little bit, and then push it down. Take your actual screw, and go ahead and tighten up your SSD to your motherboard. And there we go. Now that doesn't need to be too tight, but tight enough to where like it doesn't fall off, okay? Next up will be the installation of your memory, your memory, the one that actually processes information to make your CPU faster or your computer faster or not, we take both of our memories out. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here, clean up my workspace a little bit. Now you're gonna be asking, okay, where does that go? I'm gonna flip this over or turn that over, that way you can see where did it go. These are the slots that they go in. Well, there's 4 slots and there's 2 memories that I'm using. Well, you want to refer back to your user manual, but in my case, I'm just going to go to the ones on the, you're going to install one on every other one, right? So there's going to be 1 memory, 1 empty, and then 1 memory. Now, which one do you use? You want to use the ones further out from your CPU. Why? I really don't know. The way you install this is, there's a notch right there on your memory. And then in here, there is another notch right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm going to use the gray ones in this case. So you just go ahead and line this up. So these latches right here, they're on the outside. Whenever you line this up, you actually push it in a little bit. Then when you push in a little bit, you're going to notice that the latch right here just closed itself and it's actually securing the memory to the motherboard. Repeat the process for your second one. Now you have 2 successfully installed memories. Next will be the actual CPU fan. Now, for this CPU fan, you don't need to apply thermal paste because there is thermal paste already applied to it. I don't know if you guys can see. And the way that we can apply the thermal paste, install the actual CPU fan is, if you guys see these 2 plastic, 1 and 2 plastic notches over there with screws, we're gonna go ahead and remove those screws. Now remove the screws with a Phillips screwdriver. So we're just gonna align this CPU fan with the screws. Now when you align it and you put it properly in there, actually I'm gonna just go around it like that, put the AMD towards. Now when we put it in, we're gonna go ahead and thread these screws. We don't want to tighten them up. We're gonna thread all 4 of them in an X pattern. Now I don't know if you guys noticed, there was that sound, that kind of like screeching sound. That is just normal. That's just part of like the spring system, that it's in between the screw and the actual plate right here. So just don't worry about it. Now if you want to know if the fan is actually like, you know, screwed on to the motherboard, you can just go ahead and grab the whole motherboard by the fan. It's fine. And now we are going to connect, like I said, that female portion to this one right here. There's 2. I got 2 of them actually. So it's going to be my right one that says CPU fan. Connect it, just wiggle it in a little bit, and there it goes. Make sure it's in there tight. Next will be the body of the rig. So we're gonna go ahead and start working on the case. This is, like I said, Corsair 220T case. We're gonna undo one side first, which is the side that the ugly side, that where all the cables are going to be routed from. Just 2 screws. Then this is just gonna pull straight out. There we go. Yes, you do need it to force this back. Well, we're gonna undo your, of course, your good side. Take this out. 2 out of 4. Pull the tempered glass out. Set this aside on a safe surface. Now after this, what you want to do is grab your power supply. remove this sticker. There we go. Now on your power supply, of course, you have the back side that goes to the back of the of your case right here. Now, what's important though, is you have a fan right here. Now this fan, you want this facing down. You don't want that fan going like that up into your rig, because that may cause your system to get hotter than it's supposed to get. So after you have figured out what cables you're gonna need and they're pre-plugged into your actual system, your power supply, you might want to go ahead and now put the power supply into your rig. And with the screws that the actual case provide, we are going to screw this on in order to keep the power supply attached to the case itself. And there you go. That's how the actual IO shield will look at. Now let's go to the motherboard. So the motherboard has, the case has kind of like standoff, which are kind of like extensions that look like this. Make sure that you have all of those installed on your case. That is to prevent that metal to metal contact from motherboard to motherboards to case. I'm gonna drop it in. Make sure you line up your motherboard with your IO shield. And of course, make sure it also lines up with all of your standoffs. Now, after that, you're gonna go ahead and look for the screws that you're gonna be needing for this to get this motherboard installed. And you're gonna go ahead and install all of the screws. You don't need a whole lot of strength. And that's it. Now your motherboard is successfully attached to your case. So after you have put your motherboard, this is the fun part. You have to pass pretty much all of these cables to the other side in order to start connecting them, right? So the very first one that I'm going to connect is this one, this 24 pin connector right here. If you see, there's a clasp right here on this side that aligns up with the one right here, and that's it. And there you go. The next one will be your CPU, which is this one right here. It's a 4-pin, and that goes to the top right here of your motherboard. Again, make sure you align those clasps. There it is. Plug it in. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the storage. My storage, like I said in the previous video, would be a hard drive, mechanical hard drive. And in order to do that, you guys see that there's actually 3 connections. However, I'm going to use 2 of them. The larger connection right here, the L-shaped kind of like larger connection right there. That's from the power supply in order to give it power to the actual storage. And the shorter connection, it's a SATA cable used, which is this one right here, used from the drive to the motherboard in order to allow that connection. So you see right here, there is a storage that I can just pull out in order to put and install my drive. There it is. You have to like push it, like put it in, angle it from one side, and then drop it in from the other, and then, you know, kind of like do your thing. I'm gonna connect this one right here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and connect our SATA cable. Plug that sucker in, and now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in. Go ahead and push this through. Go ahead and do this number, and you see here, this is my cable. and connect it to these sockets. There it is. Now it's connected. Now that we have installed our storage drive, we're gonna go ahead and install the graphics card. Now the graphics card is gonna be like allocated right here. Now in order to do that though, we're gonna make sure that we have, first of all, we have to go ahead and remove one of these IO shields right here. Now we're gonna go ahead and line up. We're not gonna connect it yet, so we're just gonna go ahead and line up this right here, and then we're gonna see which one do we need to remove. The second and third and two. This just create spacing for our GPU. And now we're gonna connect our GPU. The way we're gonna do this is, if you see right here, there is a notch right there that you can see, and we're gonna line that notch with this one off on our graphic card. And there it is. And then we go ahead and secure our graphics card to the case using the same screws right here. And then for the power, for the connection, the cables that we want to use is this right here that says PCIe. It doesn't matter really where you connect which one. However, make sure that you connect them accordingly and how they go. And then we're gonna go ahead and connect these. Now the thing is, like, this is a 4-pin, right? There's 6 pins right there and 2 pin right here by itself. So we're just gonna go ahead and connect the 3-pin, and that's it. And there it is. This is my build. Everything is connected, and now we're gonna put everything back together. Aha! Oops.
You stupid.
Hey, so that concludes this video, this part 2 video, the building of the case and the computer itself. The next video is going to be the actual setup of the computer and installing some games and whatnot, and some gameplay footage of Warzone. So please feel free to like, comment, subscribe to the channel, share the video, get it out there to those people that actually need it or want to see it. I hope you enjoy. See you next time.